ComicsGate is collapsing at rates we never expected to be possible. Here we have Shane Davis with his Anatomic, ha 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 ha. And so he's got a new book out that he's trying to push. And as you can see, it's not doing so well compared to what ComicsGate was in before. Now, he claims most of his people are now going to his website and not Indiegogo. This has not been the case for anybody else who has been with ComicsGate, because if you look at it, when they run on Fund My Comic and the like, they usually do a massive percentage less than when they are actually on Indiegogo. So I'm actually suspect of the numbers that he's posting on his website because there's no backup to that. There's no data to that. It's just him posting it. So he could just post anything. But I guess even with this, he didn't want to lie that much because this is a dismal failure for what they used to do in the past. And this is a big bellwether because Shane Davis, out of the big kind of three of ComicsGate with Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, and him, is the only one who actually delivers his books in a timely manner, that actually seems to focus on books whatsoever. And it's really sad that the guy decided to go with that little sweeping crowd rather than actually supporting indie comics. But he did so, and it's really sad. And like usual, this is somebody who can't take criticism, that blocks anybody who says anything that looks a little like contrary to their little narratives out there. Really, just weak-willed individuals over in ComicsGate who are failing like a rock. It's very, very crazy how fast that this is dropping, and it's because they abandoned comic book fans for this troll audience that just wants to attack Eric July full time. And that's kind of what Shane Davis does now. So comic readers tuned out. Surprise, surprise. Let's get into this news in just a moment and hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things comics. I'm on my way up. I'm glad we are just building so fast. I've got 300-400 new people on my newsletter every month. We've almost doubled the Substack in terms of followership in the last week, which I just put up this week. And I'm actually have so much faith in my books that I'm giving out pages for free. I'm just uploading a new page every day of just my old stuff, just so that you can get on board with this and start reading. Because what ComicsGate lacks and what the mainstream industry lacks is readers. All of comics just really moved to this it's a collectible, variant covers, CGC grading, sort of nonsense. And they're not about cultivating readers anymore. They're not about getting people actually reading anymore. And look, I know that as we go along and as everything just progresses and you could see the stories, you could see the difference between what I'm doing and what Shane Davis is doing, for example, that you're going to be coming on board and you're going to love this. So I've got all of Flying Sparks Volume 1 up as of yesterday. Not Volume 1, Issue 1. And I've got this is a 15-issue series so far. I'm probably going to come back to these characters because I love them so much. And I developed a lot. I made a paid subscriber post, and you don't have to pay to sign up for this. I'm going to give away the comics, like I said, for free, like Webtoon, because that's the model that's working. Everybody who's doing Webtoon and things like that are growing like crazy. And big companies are starting to get on this. Even DC Comics is moving their stuff to Webtoon. IDW is moving to Webtoon. This company who does books actually has Webtoon adaptations of their books. They're called Athon Press, and they're making big waves. Those guys are making massive money, way beyond anything these guys ever did. So this is the future, and so this is exactly why. Look, it's you can read this, and if you want to support me, you can support me, and that's the model that we need to move to the future. So start reading here. Just sign up. It's free, like I said. You can. My commentary post is a paid post, and that way, if you want to know the depth of the characters and know everything I put into here, we've got this going. And so I appreciate you guys signing up. It's in the description below. Thank you for being here. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter as well, I shoot you just an email randomly. When I've got some new books out, I've got 9 graphic novels in development, running circles around these guys. And that's why they're so afraid of me, is what it comes down to. They know they can't compete with somebody who's actually a real writer. And if you notice, they shut out writers all the time. Even Ethan Van Sciver is just attacking Chuck Dixon these days just to try to get at Eric July. And it's because they're scared of writers. They know that their books have very little substance. And so they know that people are not going to come in after a while, which is what's happening. Like I said, ComicsGate's been in dire straits this year. Nothing's made that 100K mark that they used to brag about all the time. And, Shane's books used to get 200-300K. Same with John Malin. And now they're really down to about a third of their audience. And it's because of their behavior. What's happened is they've turned all of their channels into these we must attack Eric July and the Rippaverse full time. Any conservative creators who are not us are bad. And it's this is stupid. And nobody wants that kind of content except for trolls who like to feed super chats, right? And who just want to go out there and see a slap fight online. It's not a comic book reading audience, and they've forsaken all of the comic book reading audience. Of course, with Ethan Van Sciver, it gets way worse. I did a video on it yesterday. John Malin's much the same. And to Shane Davis's credit, Shane Davis is like the only one of those three who actually delivers his books in a timely manner and actually seems to work on them. But that's still not enough at this point. As you see, this is it. Shane's new book shows how much Ethan's gutted ComicsGate. Because remember, these people don't live off of their own audiences at all. They all latched on to the Ethan Van Sciver ComicsGate channel. They all only promote over there. It's a big like telethon trying to sell these books, and they don't really have much of an audience for themselves. If they went off by themselves, if Shane Davis split from ComicsGate right now, and actually did this, he'd actually be probably at a third of what he's at, because it's only Ethan Van Sciver's audience. And that's why he bootlicks Ethan Van Sciver so hard and reacts like this and blocks anybody who criticizes Ethan Van Sciver just like a mainstream leftist nut job, because that's how they all act. All these Marvel and DC people, have you noticed this? They all kind of act the same. And so they want to put themselves up on pedestals for not producing comic books and not producing anything worthwhile, and it doesn't work very well. So Inglorious Rex 3 funded $68,000 in the first 3 hours and $180,000 in the first 24 hours. This new Inglorious Rex book is only at $65K after 24 hours. So this is a one-third drop. And if you don't know about crowdfunding, when you have your own audience that's bought things from you before, you get a big bulk of your funding in the first day. In fact, it usually increases, not decreases, in terms of backing by that point if you're using the same platforms as you did before. And so with this, at least in day one funding, doesn't mean like it does overall, but most of the audience already knows where to find you. You've got them on a mailing list, and so they just come in at this point. The fact that like a third of people have tuned out of this is very bad sign. And like I said, I find this whole number of 65,000 suspect, which he puts up on his own website, because you go to Indiegogo, which is where they primarily fund their stuff, and he's under 20K. This doesn't track that he moved to his own website and started building his own like kind of web store here on this 9 Lives Comics, and like that's got 2/3 of his backers moved over there. Highly doubt this. Like I said, when I've seen people go on Fund My Comic and the like and post their like dual campaigns on Indiegogo and Fund My Comic usually ends up with like the opposite amount, like maybe 1/5 of the people are on there. So when you see this, it's like these numbers are a little shaky. Of course, he posts on his website that there's a lot more going on. But we never get to see the back end of that, so it seems fake as it is. But this should be a big red flag for ComicsGate, like a huge red flag. If even Shane Davis cannot fund his books at this point, you got to understand that like they do not have a comic buying audience anymore. It's gone. It's evaporated, and it's because of the behavior of Shane, John, and Ethan just attacking all indie comic creators for having any sort of difference of opinions, for actually just coming out with books. I mean, they're mad at people when they come out with books regularly. I mean, it's insane, just like the fake sort of outrage that they generate about everybody over there. And that's exactly why we need a new movement that changes things. That's about reading, that's about comic books, that's actually going to do something different than these guys did before. And we're doing our best here. We tried to promote John Longbox's books the other day. We've got some great outlets, of course, that are doing some good work. I've got Fandom Pulse, where I'm, if you look on what I'm doing, I don't just talk the talk here. Here's Josh Howard's Dead at 17 Kickstarter, which is out. I wrote a whole article about it. Didn't ask me to. I didn't, highlight it. I didn't stream for 2 hours talking about how magnanimous I am or anything like that. I just tried to promote and get the word out. And this is a 5,000 subscriber Substack at this point. So you'd be stupid not to want that, but these guys don't want that. They don't want anything but their controlled fiefdom on their little live streams, and it's hurting them at this point because of all that they've got going on. So guys, this is the real deal. This is where it's at. This is where it's about reading. Sign up for this Substack in the description below. So important, guys. Let's build this up, and let's build up some comics and build up some storytelling again, because that's what it's about here. And this is the movement that these guys promised and never delivered. We've got it going on here. And, the more that this builds, the more we can do, the more that we're going to build, the more that we're going to do awesome things. We're just at the beginning of this new movement in comics that really is changing the culture. And I appreciate you guys being here. We've got a great Discord community, and you guys have been awesome, growing so fast as well. And sign up for the newsletter as well. There's just little check boxes in the description below. You can check everything out. Let's get reading, make it great again, guys, because the more that people actually read, the more that we're going to make a difference. And that's the message here today. These guys are not about reading. They're just about their drama crap all the time. It's really, really sad. And, I don't think any of them can read. I don't know that Shane Davis can actually read a book. He doesn't seem that smart. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.